Believe it or not, there was a time when buying a game once meant you owned the whole thing. No DLC, no microtransactions, no battle passes. Today, we're breaking down how monetization in gaming has evolved. From simple cartridges to digital games you don't own, but have the rights to, whatever that means. And the billion-dollar live service models, and how it impacts players today. By the end, you'll see why gaming has shifted so drastically, whether this shift has been good or bad for us gamers. The evolution of monetization in the gaming industry has transformed from simple one-time purchases to a multifaceted ecosystem driven by digital distribution, player engagement, and data analytics. Initially dominated by physical retail sales in the 1970s and the 1980s, the sector shifted dramatically with the rise of online platforms in the 2000s, enabling monetization models like free-to-play and microtransactions. This progress reflects broader technological advancements, such as mobile gaming's explosive growth via app stores, and economic pressures such as the need for recurring revenue streams amid rising development costs. From the late 1970s through the 1990s, video games were accessible by physical media like cartridges and discs, where consumers paid a single upfront price for a complete game experience. This era emphasized simplicity and ownership, contrasting sharply with today's digital landscape, which is dominated by downloadable content, DLCs, microtransactions, and fragmented purchases. Physical media formed the core of gaming hardware from the 1970s onward, offering a tangible, self-contained product that required no additional downloads or online verification. Disc-based media emerged in the late 1980s with the Sega Mega Drive, Genesis, and reached maturity with the PlayStation 1. CDs allowed for vastly greater storage, up to 650 megabytes, compared to cartridges limits to 1 to 8 megabytes, enabling richer worlds in games like Final Fantasy VII. Both formats prioritize completedness, which means a purchased game was fully playable out of the box, with no risk of server shutdowns or delisted content. This physicality contributed to gaming's cultural footprint, as players owned the collectible artifact that could be traded, resold, or preserved, fostering community sharing and secondhand markets. In the pre-2000 era, games followed a straightforward pricing structure: one-time purchase for the full experience. Typically, $40 to $60 for NES, SNES titles, and $50 to $70 for Nintendo 64, PS1 games. Adjusted for inflation, a $50 NES game from 1985 equates to about $140 today, reflecting higher production costs for cartridges but providing complete value without ongoing fees. So, pretty much, we're getting games cheaper and the games are better now. It just comes with a lot of microtransactions. But I guess we win, so for now, eventually it seems like the prices will get to that point again. But we'll see. This model avoided the fragmentation of modern DLC, where base games feel incomplete without expansions. Consumers knew exactly what they were buying: a finite, self-contained product. The old school era excelled in simplicity: no subscriptions, no day one patches, and full ownership via physical media. Games like Super Mario World delivered polished experiences at launch, fostering replayability without external dependencies. Pretty much, the cartridges disc era flat pricing and physical media created a consumer-centric ecosystem. where a single purchase yielded enduring value. While digital advancements offer convenience, they risk eroding the holistic joy of complete, affordable games that defined gaming's formative years. The evolution of downloadable content, DLCs, and expansions has transformed the gaming industry from a model centered on standalone titles to one emphasizing ongoing support and monetization. Early PC expansions, such as those for The Sims, starting in the 2000s with Living Large, introduced substantial new mechanics, neighborhoods, and features like pets and careers, extending gameplay significantly. Similarly, World of Warcraft revolutionized MMORPGs with expansions like the Burning Crusade, which added flying monks, new races, and continents. These expansions were physical discs, costing $20 to $40 each, and focused on enhancing core experiences without fragmenting the base game. The shift to digital DLCs accelerated in the mid-2000s with console gaming online capabilities. The Xbox 360 included Xbox Live Marketplace, enabling initial DLC-like themes and small packs. By 2006, PlayStation Network launched, and The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Horse Armor became the first paid DLC, sparking debates on value versus greed. And this is where it all began. Well, I wouldn't say where it all began, but this was one of the shifting factors in DLCs, especially cosmetic DLCs in gaming. This really shifted the focus. Modern DLC often fragments experiences. For example, base game launching incomplete, with story arcs split across DLC packs. In contrast, pre-2000, expansions extended playtime holistically, as seen in The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, where the expansion pack added RAM for enhanced visuals without gating content. Expansions in DLC shifted gaming from finished titles to services. Pre-2000s, PC expansions like Diablo Hellfire were physical add-ons adding quests and classes, extending play without online. However, in modern gaming, we have live service models, which has its positives and its negatives. Positives being, it allows for patches for bugs and free content. But there are also the negatives, which are paywalls. Looking at you, Destiny, hiding content people paid for. Why? Whatever. Expansions and DLC shifted gaming from finite experiences to perpetual services, boosting revenue, but sparking debates because games like Destiny remove content. Then came the era that changed everything: mobile gaming. Games like Candy Crush and Clash of Clans made billions off the free-to-play model. Games that cost nothing to start but constantly encouraged spending to progress. The term whales entered the industry, referring to players who spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on in-game items. And it worked. Too well. Soon, the big console and PC publishers noticed. Microtransactions started appearing in full-priced games. Assassin's Creed. Suddenly, $60 wasn't enough. Games were designed around constant monetization, with systems meant to keep you grinding or paying. Then came loot boxes, digital gambling, disguised as surprise mechanics. Open a crate, get random loot, maybe a rare skin, maybe nothing. It was the modern slot machine, warped in bright colors and flashy sounds. Loot boxes in games like Overwatch relies on probabilistic drops, where outcomes are uncertain, introduced gambling mechanics, drawing regulatory scrutiny for addiction risks. When Star Wars Battlefront 2 launched in 2017, it pushed things too far, and players revolted. The backlash was massive. Governments stepped in, and some countries banned loot boxes altogether. The message was clear. Players were tired of paying for chances. After the chaos of loot boxes came a new idea: the Battle Pass. It actually started with Dota 2's Compendium. It was genius, predictable, transparent, and addictive in its own way. No more random loot, just time and effort, and players loved it. Fortnite turned this system into a money machine, earning billions every year while keeping its core game free. But the roots of microtransactions trace back earlier to Valve's Dota 2, which introduced a similar compendium system in 2013, offering tiered rewards for seasonal progress. However, Fortnite's implementation popularized it globally. Priced at 950 V-Bucks, around 10 USD, it featured 100 tiers of cosmetics with a free track for non-players. By blending progression with limited time exclusivity, Fortnite's Battle Pass drove player retention and revenue, generating billions while keeping the core game free. Fortnite's model emphasized predictability. Players knew exactly what rewards awaited at each tier, unlocked via XP from matches and challenges. This contrasted with random loot boxes, appealing to players seeking tangible progress without gambling-like uncertainty. But it also came with a cost: grind fatigue. To finish a pass, you often have to play daily, turning fun into an obligation. Miss a season? Those rewards are gone forever. The Battle Pass replaced the casino-style loot box with something more structured, but also more time-consuming. Just to keep it simple, Battle Passes are better than loot boxes because the player will actually continue engaging in the game. It's kind of frustrating to rely on RNG to get what you want, when with Battle Passes, you know what you're getting and you can work towards that goal. The gaming industry in 2025 is at a pivotal juncture, shaped by evolving player behaviors, technical advancements, and shifting business models. Gamers are increasingly vocal about their experiences, with reactions ranging from acceptance of innovative features to organized boycotts against perceived anti-consumer practices. Now, let's shift to games as a service. The transition to games as a service, which is ongoing content updates, microtransactions, and subscriptions, has solidified as the industry standard, moving from one-time purchases to recurring revenue. In 2025, games as a service accounts for 65% of total gaming revenue. So, why the shift? Games as a service offers accessibility and longevity, appealing to a large number of gamers who prefer free-to-play games. Titles like Fortnite and Genshin Impact exemplify this, with seasonal updates sustaining engagement. Pretty much, this model reduces entry barriers, allowing any and everyone to have access to the game. So, where does that leave us in 2025? Most gamers have accepted it. The games as a service model is now the new normal. Developers rely on microtransactions, cosmetics, and subscriptions to stay afloat. But at the same time, there's growing fatigue. Players are burned out by constant updates, time-limited events, and FOMO-driven monetization. Looking ahead, AI and personalization will likely drive the next wave, tailoring offers and content directly to each player's preference. It could be exciting or terrifying, depending on how it's used. And let's be real, we know how it's going to be used. It's going to be a tricky one without regulations. Either way, we've come a long way. From cartridges you could hold to cloud games you can barely own. What started as a simple one-time purchase has evolved into a complex web of subscriptions, battle passes, and live services. The big question is, has it made gaming better or just more expensive? Either way, let me know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like, subscribe for more gaming content, and I'll see you in the next one.